And to talk to us about what's happening on the ground in Arizona, we're being joined on Skype by Jessica Edwards. She's a high school teacher in Phoenix who's standing outside the state legislature. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us what's happening today in the Capitol?
Hi, I'm actually outside the Capitol building right now where teachers are gathered. Thousands of teachers have been gathering over the last 4 days to put pressure on our governor and the legislature to make some changes to the education system here.
Exactly are your demands?
The first demand is that we want a 20% raise because elementary teachers in Arizona are the lowest paid in the nation. So we want a competitive salary so that teachers stop leaving Arizona because we already have 2,000 vacancies here for teachers. So we want that 20%. We also want a raise for our support staff, so our maintenance workers, our cafeteria workers, our aides, because we can't have a school without them, so we need them to also have a competitive salary. And finally, we want funding for our classrooms. There's been about $1.5 billion cut since 2008, and we want that back.
Now, is 20% a huge ask for teachers, or is this like the minimum request that you're making for a salary increase because of how badly funding has been?
That's the minimum that we're requesting because that would actually put us to the national average. We're so far below.
Okay, so for weeks now we've been seeing protests across the states. Do you think, across the United States, do you think that this particular protest is going to spread into cross-country organization, cross-nationwide protests for teachers?
I think it will continue. We've already seen it in West Virginia and Oklahoma, and now Arizona and Colorado are taking action. And I think we will see it spread because education in the United States isn't quite a priority where it should be, and I think we need to make some changes as a country.
Now, Jessica, we've been covering this for a little while, and I've heard some shocking reports of some schools having 4-day weeks and having to make serious cuts on the quality of education. You are a teacher in Arizona. Could you talk to me about what your experience has been and some of the challenges you have to undergo trying to educate your nation's children with insufficient resources?
I teach biology, and a lot of the tools that we have for our lab equipment are over 20 years old, so that can make them dangerous if we're trying to do a lab with scalpels and scissors, and they're rusted and they're old. And so it's not just outdated textbooks, which there are. Some of them are 10, 20 years old, and they have incorrect information in them, but it's also the supplies that we have that teachers have to pay for themselves to get safe equipment, to get equipment in general, to do creative quality education things in their classroom.
Thank you so much for giving us information and giving us a little insight into your experience as a working teacher in Arizona. We've been talking to Jessica Edwards. She's a high school teacher in Arizona, and she's talking to us live from the teachers' protest there.